Hello, hi, welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be a reading for people who are dealing with a Taurus, but there's no communication going on. No communication with Taurus. If you're dealing with a Taurus, you've had a falling out with Taurus, you've lost communication, you've been ghosted, or you did ghost a Taurus, or whatever the reason for the communication breakdown, this is the reading. No talking, no texting, no Skyping, no calling, no nothing. If you want to see what Taurus might have to say to you, welcome to it. All right, guys, whoever you are watching, I don't know your sign, I don't know your name, I don't know where you're from, I don't know anything about you, but I hope that you guys are doing well, okay? Timestamp is in the description box below if you want to jump ahead. This is new content to my channel, so you might want to stick around. There might be something I mention here in the beginning, or you might see a flip out or something like that, but I will give a general explanation to what we're going to see today. I've done 3 of these so far today. Taurus, or those who are dealing with Taurus, you'll be the last ones I'm doing in this series today. I don't know if I'm going to do the full zodiac, but we'll figure it out as we go along, or as I'm guided to upload this content. So what you're going to see is you're going to see 3 cards down here in the bottom left. That's Taurus's message, or what they would like to say to you if the silence was suddenly broken, if the communication suddenly was resurrected or established. And then on the top right will be 3 cards that collectively work to give a message to Taurus if, again, the communication lines were opened up between you. You'll share an energy in the center, which I will read from your perspective and their perspective. So you'll basically get 3 to 4, well, I guess technically 4 different energy reads of what's going on between you and the Taurus that you are not communicating with, okay? And I apologize if my voice is a little low. Done a lot of talking today. So I'm going to try and push this out with the last bit of energy I have before I go to bed. All right, guys, let's get into it. I want to see messages from Taurus. If Taurus could speak to the viewer, what would they say? I want to see 3 cards from Taurus giving a message to the viewer. If Taurus was speaking to them, what would Taurus like to say? Please show me. 1. Is that it? That's it. Nice and easy. Lemon squeezy? Something like that? Isn't that sort of the way that saying goes? All right, so that's them. And now you're up. Viewer, if you were to speak to Taurus, what would you like to say to them? Show me 3 cards, please, for what the viewer would like to say to Taurus if there was communication. And that goes actually out here. I just realized. I had boxed this off, or... Anyway, it doesn't matter. 3 cards for the person viewing. What would they like to say to Taurus? You might already know, obviously, but maybe you'd like some clarity on what you might say to Taurus if you had the chance, okay? 3 cards for the viewer, please. Oh. Yeah. Okay. 1. 2, okay. That's interesting. Yours are coming out like that. No, not that one. That one. And 3. All right. There's no bottom of the deck in this type of reading. If I need to clarify, I'll pull the deck out again. All right, and let's flip everything that came face down so we can get a full picture of what's going on. All right, I'll try not to fiddle too much with this stuff, because it's going to be imperfect. Every deck has different size cards. Anyway, so guys, if you're dealing with a Taurus, that's a little tight, but we'll deal with it. If you're dealing with a Taurus, this is what they might want to say to you. Conjectively, that's not even a word. Combined, what they would want to say is 6 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, and 3 of Cups. Well, I can tell you right now, they're in a good spot. All right, guys. So Taurus would say to you, first off, 6 of Pentacles. Well, I think for Tauruses, it feels like there's been an establishment or a refocus on what's fair in a situation, what's just in a situation, what's due to them in a situation, possibly with you specifically, since you guys aren't in communication, or just generally in their lives as they feel very much that balance, fairness, as you can see with the scales there, needs to be restored, either in their life specifically or in a situation that is important to them. Because, excuse me, Pentacles deals with things that we value, not just money, but also possessions. Could be time, could be certain relationships, because we see 3 people who are on this card. And the 2 that are kneeling on the ground kind of look like children. So part of their reasoning for not speaking with you right now could be prioritizing their home life, their children, or some relationship with children. If it's not their specific children, they might work with kids. They might, you know, be philanthropic towards children, because again, 6 is about not only balance, or this 6 of Pentacles is not only about balance, it's also about giving. It's also about charity, right? So there could be some involvement in that, and that could be like a really big focal point in their life. But I think if it's not specifically about money or kids or, you know, anything like that, it really is about finding a proper perspective and gaining clarity through space. Meaning, if you and the Taurus not only are not speaking, but maybe they've moved away, I get like not only like a break in communication or like a standstill in communication, I also get like some of these Tauruses or you have like, excuse me, moved on, like physically moved somewhere, relocated, or, you know, maybe taken a new job, something like that. And, you know, Taurus is in the moment very interested in what's going to work for them going forward. So it feels really self-focused, you know. So if they could talk to you, if they told you anything, they would tell you, I got to focus on myself. I have to focus on, you know, gaining balance and finding out what really matters to me, what I value. And it could be that they could be reorganizing their own values or redetermining their values in some type of way, what is important to them. If it is about money and possessions, they may have put money and possessions before your relationship, before, you know, giving a damn about, you know, whether or not you guys remain in contact with one another, okay? So far, that feels kind of family, friends, maybe a little bit of lovers, but it's mostly, initially, that feels family and friends. Now, next, they would tell you 9 of Pentacles. So, I feel like some of them have this established already. They are the 9 of Pentacles. They are this abundant person. Male or female, it doesn't matter, even though there's a woman on the card. They would tell you that they've really put the feelers, not the feelers, I'm sorry, let me not say that. They've possibly enlisted the help of someone else, because I'm looking at that huge fucking bird on her arm, right? And that's what, like a hawk, or maybe a I don't know birds, but maybe it's a hawk or a falcon or something like that. And I feel that bird, which would translate into a guide for Taurus or an ally for Taurus in the real world, there's this working relationship where Taurus is working with someone closely to secure, to establish this 9 of Pentacles in their life. Meaning, if this is about their finances, like I said, they could have their eye strongly on their finances. They might be in partnership, or they might be working close with a personal accountant or a personal finance advisor that basically safeguards Taurus. I feel that Taurus wants to safeguard their money, their possessions, or going back to those who have kids, or there's children somehow involved in Taurus's side, at least, maybe your side as well. Maybe this is an ex-partners thing, or, you know, separated spouses. I don't know. But I feel as though with these 2 together, Taurus is interested in securing proper foundations and stability for at least themselves, but also maybe kids too, or anyone that Taurus cares about, really. So their focus is either to, because now I'm getting something else, either to maintain the foundation they have, or rebuild, or build upon what they already have. Or in some cases, they might not be talking to you because they are now reprioritizing their children. So you could, again, be Taurus's ex, current partner, friend, I don't know. But I feel that Taurus, previous to this point, felt distracted either in communication or in your specific relationship or just in general. I feel Taurus was, previous to this point, sort of in a disarray. This is restoring balance. This is, like I said, working closely with someone represented by the bird that is basically on Taurus's side and is acting as, because I mean, look at the, I mean, not only just in this frame, but we also know birds have a wider scope, right? They have bird's eye view. So whoever Taurus is working with, they have an outside perspective, a bigger or wider perspective that is very helpful to Taurus. And this basically says to me, Taurus is focusing on self or focusing on the things that matter most to them. And if you want to matter most to Taurus, or you thought you were in some type of standing with Taurus, so far I haven't seen you, the viewer, pop up here in their mind. Let's see if you're here, though, in the Three of Cups. If Taurus was going to talk to you, they might tell you they're looking for, or they have reason to celebrate. You know, maybe they've come into, I mean, these are two Pentacles cards back to back, and they're some of the most fortunate or like a surplus. Like, these two cards sometimes can talk about having more than enough, or, you know, being sure that your extra income is properly invested or accounted for. So, you know, if Taurus has come into some money, or they've come into some sense of abundance, they might be out celebrating. They might be out occasionally kicking up their heels, even though, well, not even though, it might be in response to having put in this work between getting foundations completely settled and making sure things have, you know, legs up under them, and they're sturdy and they're secure. And so after that hard work, Taurus might say to you, I'm going to go out and have some drinks. And, you know, now it's like kind of heavily leaning towards partners or ex-partners, or even just family members like cousins, or, you know, fathers and children, or mothers and children, something like that. And I feel that this Taurus, oh God, okay, or rather, this is coming out, Taurus is the parent of a child that, or children that you might have concerns about. I'm not really sure just yet. If you do, you might criticize Taurus for how they're raising the child, whether you're the other parent or not, okay? And Taurus basically says, fuck you. I've taken care of what I need to take care of. I'm taking care of my kid, and I'm doing what I need to do. Mind your business. I don't really feel you're a part of this energy. If you are, it's like a spiteful energy. Like, Taurus might invite you out for drinks with them, knowing you think they're a bad mom or a bad dad or something like that. And basically, well, if you're not communicating, I guess they're not. That would be the point. But okay, so maybe you, maybe that's it. Maybe it's just an invitation, which is, it's still communication to be like, you know, given like an invite on like Facebook, or like in a big group text, like, oh, this Friday night, join me out at da-da-da-da bar. And they might send that to you knowing you guys don't talk, or knowing you guys kind of you've had this big falling out, but they might send it to you anyway, just to kind of like rub your nose in it. This feels kind of divisive. Third party situation, because it's the three. Some people will want to read into that. I don't necessarily feel that, because if this is a partner of yours, I feel it's either completely, you guys have broken up before now, a long time ago, or at least, you know, several months ago, or if you're still technically together, maybe technically married, maybe, you know, separated, not living together. It's like it's like the it's like the Iron Curtain. It's like, or it's some type of Mexican standoff. You truly don't speak to each other, even though you might still be married, still share the same address, but you or them is like crashing on a friend's couch or something like that. So Taurus, if they were to tell you anything, I think they tell you where to go, viewer, unfortunately. I don't see a lot of sympathy or feeling bad about not being in communication. Taurus feels very solid and secure, and possibly reveling in your lack of communication, or reveling in whatever successes and bits of cash they've come into. They're really, if I'm honest, not thinking about you. Okay? Now, what would you say to Taurus if you were to talk to them, if the lines of communication were to open up? You'd say to them, first off, 8 of Pentacles. So you would tell them, listen, either I'm working or I'd like to work on this, but I think this is more about you. I'm working. I'm focused on my Pentacles too, because, I mean, these are 2 Pentacles talking to each other. 6 of Pentacles on their side in the first position, and 8 of Pentacles on your side in the first position. So I think you're, and because this is an 8 and that's a 6 on their side, you might be trying to outdo them. So this is like some competition. If this could still be competition. If this is like exes or spouses or whatever, baby mamas, baby daddies, whatever, this could be competition. Or this is you putting in work to, again, like how Taurus down here was considering the well-being and the welfare and wanting things to be established for children. This could be you working overtime, getting in another job, trying to secure financial stability so that you too can have sort of something to say about the stability of the children or provide for the children, okay? That's very specific. But in general, regardless of children, this feels like you're trying to match, if not outdo, whatever Taurus is doing on their side, particularly with money and or accomplishments and or security. If this is friends, it's a weird passive-aggressive competition between you two. It's this weird, we're not talking, see? Like, and that's the thing. I designed this, well, designed and was inspired and intuitively guided to create this reading for people who are specifically not in communication. I still believe you're not in communication, but I think you both know exactly what the other one is doing almost any given day. You know exactly what they're up to because you're looking at their Facebook, they're looking at your Snapchat and Instagram, whatever. It's like we're not actively communicating with each other, but we're sending up smoke signals, or we're telegraphing our information to each other, or it's so, or maybe like through common friends, like shared friends or shared social partnerships. Like you keep hearing through the grapevine, Taurus is doing this, and then Taurus hears something that you do. And this is how you respond to each other. You're both focusing on money, stability, security, foundations, and you're trying to build in a crew, build in a crew, build in a crew. Interesting. Your second message to Taurus is the 4 of Swords. So you're a little tired. I think mentally, like, oh wow, another bird. You both got birds looking over you because there's a bird there in the windowsill, right? I don't know that that bird is necessarily a guide for you. It could be. But viewer, I think that you would tell Taurus with this 4 of Swords that you're tired, you're mentally strained with whatever's going on. I don't know that you want to communicate with them, because, you know, this is a card of communication, the sword suit, but it's also a card of like no involvement, resting, throwing the towel in, or taking a break. So as much as swords indicate communication, I don't know that you actually want to talk. Or maybe you're viewing this moment where you're not communicating as simply a timeout, as simply you both gone to your separate corners, everybody takes 5, you know, grab some water, stretch a little bit, and then come back out. And I'm using this analogy of like a fight, like a boxing fight or something like a boxing match. Maybe, again, because I feel like you're going toe-to-toe, or at least you're trying to go toe-to-toe with this person in terms of money and earning things. So you might want to tell Taurus, I'm on a break right now, but don't think I'm out. Don't count me out. This is not a TKO. This is not a knockout. Taurus might see you as being inactive, right? 4 of Swords is a card of resting, inactivity, right? They might be able to see that on your social media. you know, you're not posting much. What you do post is kind of quote unquote boring, right? Or it seems like really reserved and it's really like demure or subdued, but secretly you're resting up for something more. You're recuperating, you're getting your energy back, you're getting your head kind of screwed on the right way. And you often with the Four of Swords, it's a time to reflect and or create a strategy or create a plan. All right. So I don't know that you would want to scream that from the rooftops at Taurus. Like, let them know, like, you don't want to, like, you know, telephone that into them. Hey, Taurus, I'm getting ready for round 2. You better get ready too. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't tell your opponent, which I feel there's a lot of adversarial energy between you and this Taurus. So if you did tell them, I mean, sometimes that can be a boss move. Like, you tell someone, I'm about to come back. Not literally, because I don't condone physical violence, but totally in a metaphor. If you told someone, I'm preparing to come back and kick your ass, that's kind of a boss move. Again, not in the physical fisticuffs, let's take it to the street. I don't condone that, even though it might come to that in some of your cases. I don't recommend it. I just don't recommend and condone violence. But again, in a metaphorical way of, I'm going to, you know, compete with you in terms of if this, I mean, I've danced around it. This could be a workplace thing. Okay. That's kind of cool to tell somebody, wait till next time, because I'm going to kick your ass. Now, your final message to Taurus is the Wheel of Fortune. Major arcana associated with the fixed signs, so Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, also ruled by Saturn, so Capricorn might be involved as well, but none of those signs, guys, have to be involved here except the Taurus. It's a general collective reading. Don't hold on to the zodiacs. Anyway, as you can see, time is of the essence, or at least the impression of time, because it's not truly a clock. It's the zodiac wheel, right? And yeah, there's no actual clock here. But for you, the impression of time, or at least this maybe abstract application of time, is important. Meaning, again, sort of piggybacking off of that Four of Swords, you might tell Taurus, the time will come where you and I will meet again. Because the Wheel of Fortune, excuse me, often talks of cycles, you know, until we meet again. You know, anything that goes around a clock this way will come back around, and then it'll go away, and then it'll come around again. You know, like hands on a clock's face, right? It's always 12 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and then 12 in the morning again. And that cycle repeats itself over and over again. So you might tell Taurus, you know, you think that whatever's going on between us is done, or whatever is going on between us is in your favor. And that's the other thing about the Wheel of Fortune. It kind of says it in the name. Wheel of Fortune. Think of the game show. Sometimes you spin that big wheel and you land on the space that gives you $1,000 per letter. You spin the wheel again and boo, bankrupt, right? So you would tell Taurus, who feels quite good, solid, secure, celebratory, possibly laughing in your face to maybe your misfortune right now, you would tell Taurus, my day will come, or your day will come, or whatever you would tell them. So I feel that Taurus might be in a bit of a gloating, bragging kind of mood, and you're basically, you're like waiting for the wind to be knocked out of their sails. This is very adversarial, very interesting, very different from the previous 3 as well. Let's see if I want clarification on anything. I kind of want clarification on that 3 of oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm getting way ahead of myself. My apologies, guys. The collective energy between you. So from Taurus's line up to you, 3 of Pentacles to the Wheel of Fortune. Much like I said, Taurus is so focused on getting themselves into this secure, abundant spot of the 9 of Pentacles that once they get it, I feel like many of them already have it, whether that be financially. In 9 of Pentacles can talk about being single. So if this is about a relationship that's on on the rocks or has split apart. They feel confident now. So their Three of Cups to your Wheel of Fortune is basically saying, I've got so much reason to celebrate. From their perspective, the Wheel of Fortune is in their favor right now and will continue to be in their favor. And so they're really not shaken. They're really not shaken. From their perspective, viewer, it's been a long time coming for them to feel this confident and this secure and this, you know, happy. Because this Three of Cups, to me, is like really happy for Taurus. Like they could be hanging out with friends they haven't seen in a long time. They could be, you know, taking a vacation. Not that this card necessarily indicates vacation, but it's usually reasons to celebrate. So they might, but they, you know, and it could just be, you know, this time of year, they might, even if they're like 58 years old, they might throw like a Halloween party just to have an excuse to have people over the house to celebrate and have a good time, right? The possibility of things not going in their favor, they're not even giving acknowledgement to that. They're not even, like, I'm doing the John Cena, and I'm not even a wrestling fan, but I've talked about wrestling a lot recently in my video, so I don't know what the hell that's about. But I'm doing the John Cena thing where he, you know, he does this in front of his face with his hand. You can't see me. That's what they're doing to this Wheel of Fortune, because the Wheel of Fortune can, excuse me, the Wheel of Fortune can be beneficial, and it can be detrimental. It's always sort of a coin toss, or like I said, an issue of cycles. Things come in your favor and then things don't come in your favor, right? And the Taurus is like, you can't see me, Wheel of Fortune. You can't see me. So they're really like enjoying their life. And maybe that's it. Maybe they're just living in the moment. Maybe, you know, maybe they've had a lot of stress or they've had a lot of worry back here with the Six of Pentacles. And now that they have some sure footing, maybe they're letting their hair down a little bit. Now, from you to them, Wheel of Fortune to the Three of Cups, I feel like I mean, I have basically said it before that the time will come where this kind of dries up for them. And I feel like some of you are wanting to warn them, like genuinely warn them. Like you shouldn't get so caught up in celebration. As much as you might have adversarial energy with this person and you might be gearing up to go toe-to-toe with them for a second or third round or whatever it is, I think some of you genuinely want to warn this person, listen, you should watch what you're doing with the celebrations. Don't go overboard. That's for some of you. Others of you, it's more of a... like you see the vulnerability that there's, like you see the error that they're creating for themselves. Or maybe, because that's the thing, this is your perspective, right? It's not true or untrue. This is just the energy where you're standing, right? You see what they're doing and you think it's foolish. Therefore, you think it's the perfect time for you to go in there and go for the jugular. Again, with this like violent and aggressive overtones. Again, do not do anything physical. That is, no, it's just not right. But metaphorically, figuratively, you're really looking at them turn soft, where this was like dedication on their side. The Six of Pentacles, steady interest in making things work, balancing things out, finding good foundations. The more they essentially let their guard down, that's perfect timing for you to strike. Or, if not you, the universe, because it is a major arcana. It is ruled over by Saturn, which is basically the god of karma, or at least hard lessons, okay? Karmic lessons, right? And so some of you are just sitting back, twiddling your thumbs, waiting for the universe to give the Taurus the comeuppance. Give them the rude awakening that you think they deserve. This is very adversarial. I do want clarification on that Three of Cups. Fascinating. Why is the Three of Cups here on... Whoa. Why is the Three of Cups here on Taurus's line? I don't want those because I didn't finish. Excuse me. Why is the Three of Cups here on Taurus's line? Why is that Three of Cups here? Show me more on the Three of Cups. I might also do the Four. No, I don't know. Clarification on the Three of Cups on Taurus's line, please. Well, that definitely plays for some of you. Oh my God, so stiff on Taurus's side. That's interesting. Yours was less stiff when I shuffled for you guys. But when I come back to Taurus, it's a little stiff in the feel of the cards. Happens all the time, but it's always funny to me, or fun. It's always interesting to me. Yeah, good. Thank you. Oh, well, okay, listen. That kind of plays into what, yeah. So for them, the Three of Cups is here because there's a new vitality, possibly a new love interest on the scene with the Three of Cups and celebrating and going out and hanging out with people, okay? This could be, again, like a random Halloween party, even though there are no children in the house or, you know, all the children are grown or moved out or whatever, but you just want to have like adult fun. So you invite people over or you go down. This is, I'm saying you. Taurus is doing this. Taurus goes down to the bar, Taurus goes down to the pool hall, Taurus goes to the golf, the what do you call that, country club, if like they're in the golfing or some shit like that. And the only reason I say that because I see like for some reason that reminded me of a golf course with the grass in the back, but then like the pond in the front there. And while there, or while celebrating life and feeling revitalized or more open and ready to be happy, essentially, Ace of Cups. It's like they feel refreshed and renewed. And this Three of Cups, wow, okay. That's very specific, and I'll mention that at the end. So, in the midst of celebrating, there's this new amorous feeling that comes upon them. Oh, another bird. So maybe there's a connection. Maybe they have a love affair or a love interest in their bird friend, the financial advisor, whoever it is who's helping them establish abundance in their life. They might have a love connection with that person. The Tower. Towers can be good or bad. And it always depends on where you're standing, right? So if this is a new relationship, but the Tower comes along with it, there's ultimately a shakeup. For good or for worse, I can't tell. The Wheel of Fortune will tell. From your perspective, it might be amazing or it might be awful. From their perspective, it might be amazing or it might be awful. It all depends. I can't read this Tower to be incredibly negative for everyone. Only one of you or some of you. Because there's... To go back to what I mentioned before where I said it was a very specific message, here's what I get. There may have been some third-party situation somewhere. You and them, and you're just a friend watching them go down that lane, right? And while in the third party, someone fell in love or someone became interested in the non-primary partner. That created a Tower. And I'm saying this in very past tense. It could have happened, could be happening right now. I don't know. You know, Wheel of Fortune. The timing will be different for everybody. But there's this idea of, there's like, or rather, not even an idea. There's this feeling of intermingling, like adults, like, it's fucking weird. Like, people are flirting in front of their partners, and it's like going over one person's head, but then the best friend caught the glance, they caught the flirt, and then they go have a hushed word over in the corner with the person that was flirting. What are you doing? You're embarrassing him, or you're embarrassing her, you're embarrassing yourself, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like tumultuous, the Tower. And I feel that has happened, or it will happen soon. Wheel of Fortune. I'm not going to clarify more because I only clarified one card in all the previous readings, and I don't want these things to go on forever. So let's move on and get you guys an oracle card. I don't know who I should ask for one for, because you both seem pretty... There's a lot of animosity on both sides, so I don't know who wants to say anything, really. But let's see what's going on over here. Let's find a... Which deck for the Oracle, please? For Taurus is not in communication with the viewer. Which Oracle, please? Okay. All right, we're going to do Lucy Cavendish magical spell cards, okay? Just please give me an oracle message for this entire reading. What does the viewer need to know? What does maybe Taurus need to know? Because again, you guys are not in communication. I don't see either side wanting that shit to change. It feels mutual. It feels very okay with both of you, and if it's not okay, it's divisive, and it's like, oh, I don't know why you got, I mean, anyway, let's go ahead and get an oracle, please, for this reading. Oracle message for this reading, please. Last, yes, thank you. All right, oracle message for the reading. Give me one. Oh, come on. One more time, please. One more. One oracle card for this reading. Yep. Good? Yes. Good. I don't know. I'm laughing. I don't even know what it means. Dream sweet, sleep. Wait. Dream sweet, sleep deep. Oh my god. I like this deck, but sometimes the tongue twisters is too much. It says, sleep that's deep and lasts till morn, wondrous dreams for days reborn. Card 45. Add that up, it becomes a 9 in case you're interested in the numerology of it. Might be for you since you got the 4 of Swords, viewer. So, here we go. Oh, how we all benefit from deep, sweet, healing sleep. Sleep is absolutely necessary to our well-being, to mental sharpness, emotional equilibrium, and health that shines. Once we all worked with herbs and ambiance to create an environment that eased our bodies, minds, and spirits into lovely deep sleep. Today we are inundated with artificial light that disrupts our sleep patterns, alarms that jolt us from dreams full of meaning and messages, and we rarely see a sunset or sunrise unless we decide to make these special times of magic a part of our lives. Therefore, if this spell has chosen you, the universe says it is time to sleep deep and well again, and feel its healing magic work in your waking life. You have dreams to dream and work to do between the worlds. Sleep may have been less than satisfying for you for some time. Cast this spell and feel the rewards of healing, restful. Dream sweet, sleep deep, and every aspect of life will be enhanced in wonderful ways. What's this? Yeah, that begins the spell. There are spells in this book. Again, magical spell cards by Lucy Cavendish, if you're interested. Now, that I feel most applies to you, viewer, because you've got the most rest on your side. You've got the 8 of Pentacles being hard at work, that line about artificial light, right? And, you know, us being inundated here in the modern world, that feels to apply here. And then the 4 of Swords with that time of rest to reflect and re-energize and sort of reorganize yourself and get reinvigorated. I feel that's mostly for you. Now, again, there was mentions of time. You know, go ahead and go back and play it back. But there was something about time mentioned there. So that's really about you. So whatever's going on with Taurus, or whatever's going on in your communications with Taurus, your relationship with Taurus, sleep on it. Rest. Take a break from it. As much as, again, I feel you want to go toe-to-toe with them, put that shit on the shelf. Take care of your body first, okay? All right, guys, that concludes this reading, whatever it is. I'm not sure if I'm going to make this a series here on the channel. If you like it and you want me to, go ahead and like the video, comment below that you'd like to see more content like this, and I'll go ahead and work it into the schedule. But again, even in general, if you liked the video or if it resonated with you, leave a comment below. Make sure you share the video, and of course subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If I'll do these particular readings again, I don't know. Who knows what I'm going to do with this type of stuff, but we'll see. But anyway, I'll be back soon doing my regularly scheduled program. So if you guys are already subscribed, I look forward to seeing you then. If not, take care anyway, all right? Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Take care. Bye.